Okay folks, we're back at it. We're extending the wires for the ABS sensors on the rear, and just wanted to show you a quick trick here. If you can even, if I can get to where you can see it here. When you've got some wires and you're wanting to try to keep them together, here's what I do. You know, of course I'm still going to tape them up, probably put them in that plastic wire wrap, but if you get it out and hold it clear at the end and just tape it on anything round in the drill, and then just twist them together. And then just go a little past, because they're going to spring back some. But anyway, there you go, and they'll stay together good, and it makes it a lot easier when you go to tape them up, or if you go to put them in that plastic casing. And then of course just take your tape back off. And that's it. Alright, let me get this one on. Okay folks, we're expecting rain, so I don't know how much I'm going to get done today, but I wanted to show you a couple things under here. This is the problem with buying an ambulance. Hopefully you can see them wires. Them are all cut wires from them taking the lights and all the accessories off. And they really don't care what they cut when they do that, so you know, that's part of the mess I'm dealing with on the wiring system. We had some other problems. There was a ground wire cut going to the NSBU switch and putting the transmission in limp mode, and took a long time to get that one figured out, but we got it. And I thought I had welded that drive shaft the last video, but evidently I hadn't, so we've got it welded now. I re-dial indicated it in. I think I dial indicated it in before, but I've done it again just to make sure. And that's finished up. And I just need to get on the back drive shaft here, and I want to show you something on it. Okay, I've got to do a mount for the center support bearing before I can shorten this drive shaft, but I wanted to show you something. You know, my plans was to shorten the back, and I don't know, I can't remember how much I got to take off, or I really didn't check, but I seen something I didn't like. There's a dent in this drive shaft right here, and it's pretty rough. It's dented in and bubbled up around it, so I'm going to cut it on the front, and I'm hoping, I don't know how far that is, but I'm hoping I can get that out of it, and we might come out lucky on this. But this has got one of the covers that's snapped on, and I don't want to take it off anyway, so we can clean this yoke up and cut it, and come back and cut our drive shaft where we need to, you know, and slip it back on, and then dial indicate it in, weld it up. So looks like we're starting to sprinkle a little bit, so I'm going to get the welder in, but hopefully it won't rain long, and we can get back on this thing. All right. Okay, I think we dodged a bullet here. I'm going to have to take exactly 6 inches out of this shaft, and as you can probably see, it's going to actually put us on the opposite side of the dent. So we'll definitely take it out of the front side, and we'll do away with that dent. Got lucky on that one. All right, let's get back at it. I got to get this. I got to get a piece built for this to come down to hold the carrier bearing or center support bearing, and we're going to finish this off, grinding it, and I'm going to re-support the back of the cross member instead of the front, and we'll try to get that done. This rain will hold off. Okay folks, it's another day. Wind's blowing terrible. I got the drive shaft bolted in, and we're getting ready to make something for a cross member here, or not a cross member, but a bracket to come down to mount to the center support bearing, and go ahead and do some grinding and some reinforcing on our cross member here. And like I said, we're going to cut that shaft, and at the front up here, we'll take the die grinder with the cutoff wheel, we'll go around it and cut it off, and then we'll cut it to length put it back, dial indicated in. We'll have to jack the back up, at least one side of the back to turn it, but we'll see if we can't get this thing. If I can get this done and get the tank up in there, I can at least be able to move the truck around on its own. So that's what that's our goal for the day. We'll see how that works out, but my goals sometimes don't get met because of having to leave and such. But anyway, we'll see how it works out. All right. Okay, folks. Getting ready to cut out the piece for the drop down. Go to that carrier bearing, center support bearing, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down and I'm going to partially cut these and bend this back, and then partially cut these and then bend it flat, and this is where the carrier bearing will bolt to, and this will actually bolt to the cross member, and then we'll support the sides of it. Now I've got it 10 wide at the top because that's what the original was, and I need to drill the 2 holes for it. Got it 8 wide at the bottom because I wanted to narrow it up because we got a clearance, you know, making sure we got clearance for our gas tank and such. But and then we'll support it on the sides to make sure it don't bend back or bend. So I'll get at it and show you more. I would bend this straight with, and it may do it. I might even try that before I cut it. My 25-ton press, you know, it ain't really made. I don't have dies wide enough to do this thick of steel, but that short of a section, it would probably do it. So we may try it first, and then if not, I'll cut some slices in it and we'll weld it back after we bend it. Either way, we're gonna get her. Okay, folks, I know I set a goal here to get this thing moving and driving around, but that's been 2 days ago, and highway patrol call with a head-on collision. I went to it. Luckily the people were going to make it. A lot of broken bones, but they had a dog in the vehicle. One of them did, and of course I ended up with that vehicle, so I ended up with the dog, and I had to deal with all that. And from then on, it's been nothing but sort of crazy around here. And I've had a breakdown on my own. I had to work on a truck at about 3:30 in the morning, so didn't get much sleep that night. And then so I've just been busy besides that, and like I said, 2 days later and I'm back on it. So let me reset my goal for today to get this piece in for the center support bearing, and reinforce the cross members, get the drive shaft cut, and get the tank up in. We're going to try to do that. If we can get that done today between the toes and stuff, then we're doing pretty good, because I'll be able to move it around then. All right, show you more. Okay, we've got this support for our center support bearing just partially in. You can see I just cut it out. I cut it out a piece of 1/4 inch. Now I've got a new piece of 1/4 inch, but I don't like it. It's China steel. Every time you cut it, you can run into places that just fuzz out and act a fool. So I use this old piece. It's just better quality. I mean, that's just the bottom line. But and I'm sure it's American made steel. But anyway, what I done is I cut it out, and then I cut slices in it, and I just left 3 areas there that was together so I could bend it. I didn't want to. I was going to do this on my brake press, but I just kept thinking about that one of them hardened dies breaking and going flying everywhere, and not only dangerous but expensive as hell. So last thing I wanted to do was break one of them dies, so I just figured I'd do it like that. It's not hard to do. And then what I'll do is I'll grind this good, and I'll weld a full bead front and back. And you know, this is 1/4 inch. This stuff's not real critical, because you know, all your force on this is actually just twisting force, very little side load. And as you can see, this one's maybe just 1/8 inch or a little over, but you know, it just comes down a flat plate. There's no supports here, so there's not a lot to it. You know, and it's, you know, this is mounted in rubber anyway, so you know, if it was that much force, it wouldn't be mounted in rubber for sure. But anyway, I've still got to reinforce a little bit here and cross member, bring it down and around and connect it back. There's quite a bit to do, but I think what I'm going to go ahead and do now is shorten our drive shaft up, and I'm going to go ahead and get the die grinder, cut it right around here. Now this is, you see, has been balanced. We're not going to balance it. We're going to dial indicate it in. I don't have a way of balancing it, but like I said, I've done these. I've done a bunch of them. I mean, I'm not even going to guess at how many I've done, but it's been a lot. But anyway, we're going to cut it back to where we get this dent out of it. Thank goodness we got really lucky with that. And we're going to get ahead and get this drive shaft in, and then we'll start running our supports for this. We'll run them up through here. I think we'll trim this back a little bit, but I'm going to run the support a little ways in. And I want all the clearance for that gas tank as I can get. I don't need it rubbing on anything. And but this will work. When it's done, it'll be supported good. Of course, I'll grind it, clean it, weld it up, and you know, make it look like somebody that, you know, gave a crap done it. So, all right, show you more. Okay, we got her apart here. Just cut it with the die grinder and then hit it a couple times. Now I just cut it on the back side of the weld, and you can see we've got almost a 1/2 inch left to slide on, so that's pretty good. And 5.5 inches is what I'm going to end up taking out. You can see where my mark's at. You can see where the dent's at. So we're coming out lucky on that. Now this thing's got cardboard in it. We'll try to push it down past this cut. If I can, I'll just cut through it, no big deal. But I want to make sure that it's below this line, so you know it don't obstruct when I try to put it together. And a lot of these you'll find has cardboard in them, but anyway, let's see if we can get her cut and get her back together and welded, and that'll at least be the drive shaft done. Okay folks, first time I've ever run into this. Measure it side to side, and we've got 300 measured up and down. Yeah, 350. So we're 50 thousandths off on roundness, and I'm sure it had to do with that dent. And it's actually narrower this way. If you look at our cardboard, this was where the dent was. I slid the cardboard down in, so it's affected it this far. It's not dented, but I think I'll put a clamp maybe up and down and pull it just a little bit. Maybe that'll spread it out, because I'm having trouble getting it on the yoke. And you know, like I said, this yoke, the boot is clamped on it on each end. I really don't want to take it off, take it apart. So I'm trying to do this all together. And so it's been kind of a pain in the butt, but I think I'll put that clamp on it and just keep measuring until I get it right, and then see if we can get it up over it. Well, that one was a big pain. Rough getting that one in. Ended up clamping it, got it to where it was close, size-wise both ways, and then I was able to get it on. But it's the first one I've tried to leave up under too, so I probably should have pulled the whole thing out, but we got it. That's the main thing. And I've got to get the straps on the rear end, get one side of the thing jacked up and get it where I can spin it, and dial indicate it, and then we can get it welded, and like I said, drive shaft will be finished. Okay, we got it dial indicated in here, and I'm going to put a tack on it, and then I'll turn it again and keep working with it until we get it all perfect, and then weld it up. Don't look like I'm going to get my goal done again today, because I got a long distance tow to do just as soon as I get this welded. And so it'll probably be tomorrow before I get back on it. But all right folks, I got back in time to do a little more. Got it braced, got it welded, it's ready to go. It'll hold up just fine. Now I've got to I'm gonna get the tank up here and do a little marking and stuff, so I can do a little reinforcing on the cross members, but I'll go ahead and get it up in there. Okay folks, I've got the gas tank up in, and clear's good. There'll be no problems, and I think it'll work out really good. I made sure it wasn't hitting anything. I'm going to come up with 2 cross members of some kind. I mean, I don't know if I'll come all the way across or not, but something to come out to go on top of here, and then I'll make me some straps to go around it. I've got the old straps, but one of them's bad anyway. I might make something, I don't know. We'll see. But I don't really care to have one gas tank beside the drive shaft, but I don't reckon it's gonna make much difference. At least it's diesel and not gas. but I'll still have to run the fuel lines, get that done. But anyway, we'll have to make it a new goal tomorrow to be able to move it, because I didn't quite get there today. But you know, you still got to make money and pay the bills. So we'll do some reinforcing on some cross members tomorrow, and then we'll make something for the gas tank mount, and maybe get it on and get that part done. Do one more thing. All right. Bye.